Good evening and welcome inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center. It's the final game of the day of the reunited day here. We'll set it down to the court momentarily before the start of this one for the national anthem and starting lineups.
It is now time to meet tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the vintage Fanshawe Falcons. Number 2 from Hamilton, number 2 Jacob Curtis. From St. Thomas, number 5 Zach Adams. From Cotton, Ontario, number 7 Blake Yarmika. From Dayton, Ontario, number 8 Tanner Patterson. From London, Ontario, number 10 Jacob Johnson. From Stratford, Ontario, number 12 Katie Abraham. And from London, number 14 Jacob Crowther. And the head coach for Fanshawe is Patrick Johnson. Now please direct your attention to the end line as we introduce the starting lineup for your Niagara Knights. From Richmond Hill, number 6, Liam Marchetti. From Winnipeg, Manitoba, number 7, Benjamin Smith. From Hamilton, number 9, Matthew Carroll. From St. Catharines, number 10, Micah Newitt. From Peterborough, number 11, Mitch Kirby. From Surrey, BC, number 12, Rowan Redford. And from Woodstock, number 13, Matthew Tackett. Your coach for tonight is Steve Snow. We now turn it over to our head officials to get the game underway.
So here we go, starting lineups are in. It's the Fanshawe Falcons taking on the Niagara College Knights men's OCAA volleyball. I'm Noah Vogel alongside Alex Van Den Ack here with you on the call. Women's were able to take it out in 4, men looking to do the same. Fanshawe going to this game 2-2, NC 2-1, took a big loss to Mohawk earlier in the week. A little bit disappointing for the men's side, looking to bounce back here with a win at home to end off reunited here at Niagara College. And we'll start off this evening's match. Will be Mitch Chirpy, the third year out of Peterborough, Ontario, serving for NC. Chirpy, his spinner, it's passed up. Curtis to the outside. Patterson gonna dump that one over. Tackett came across to take it, and that's a tough get for Perron. He was really tight to the net there, and a lift was called.
Yeah, both of these teams have lost their last game, and Fanshawe's lost their last 2. Fanshawe losing 3-2 to Redeemer in Windsor and 3-0 to St. Clair. In Windsor, 3-2 to Redeemer in Ancaster. Looking to get back into the win column, their first win on the road here against the Knights.
Fanshawe men's volleyball program has always been strong, and Redicop gets it started out of the middle for NC. They were ranked #1 in all of Canada at the collegiate level for a long time last season, and were very, very strong. They came here and beat NC at home last season. The Knights trying to get revenge here tonight. Redicop on the defensive end, getting a dig. It'll go to Tactics on the outside. Redicop kept it alive on the cover, but a big block as Iberger came together with Johnson. And he's now going to go back and serve. Caden Ibergen, second year, 6'7", middle out of Stratford, Ontario. His floater, chirpy. Had a little bit of curveball there, and he's gonna have to play over a free ball. Tight to the net. Curtis will go back to the middle and just dumped down by Crawford.
Quick start here for Fanshawe. Like you said, ranked #1 in the country last year. Surprising that they're 2-2.
Caden Ibergen sends that one out the back, so set up Wisdom Smith now serving.
But with 2 upset losses against St. Clair and Redeemer.
Smith's serve is passed up on the outside. Chirpy with a good dig. Perron pushes. Tactics trying to roll it off. Was touched. Tactics gets another look. Looking for touches. They'll get it. NC gets the point.
The official there had to think long and hard about that one, but Niagara will get the call.
Lots of height at the net for this Fanshawe team. 2 6'7" middles to go along with Zach Admins, the 4th year out of St. Thomas, 6'5", standing at left side. Wisdom Smith, the tallest player on the court for NC. He sits at 6'8". On that right-hand side, good push from Perron. Tactics tools it off. And Matty Takis was named Athlete of the Week this week at Niagara College, and he's had a hot start to the game. Couple of tools off the block and a kill early on. 4-3 NC. Smith, his floater. Curtis gonna go to the outside. Admins got up. Chirpy's gonna be able to play over a free ball. Curtis looking to the middle again, and Crawford smacks it down. This will set up Jacob Johnson now behind the service line. Johnson's floater sails out the back, and that's another service error for Fanshawe. So Matty Tactics now serving for NC. Second year playing, rookie of the year last season at Niagara College. Admins, triple block comes across. Marquetti Perron. The duo shuts down Admins out of the left side. NC winning the net battles to start this game. Matty Tactics serving again. His serve passed up. Tight. Curtis able to keep it alive, and they couldn't get it over. And Admin's not happy about whether or not NC was over the net. It's going to stay Knights point. Four early lead for Niagara College. Matty Tactics looking to continue his serving streak here, and he goes into the net. And now Zach Admins will go behind the service stripe. High tossing spinner is in, an ace for Admins. Picture perfect serve finds the back left corner.
Perfectly placed, a strike right there to cut the lead down to 1.
7-6 in favor of the Knights. Admins. Chirpy with a good get. Wisdom Smith out of the C-ball. Soaring through the air and bringing it down on Fanshawe. Wisdom Smith, he's a guy you want to get going early on.
Yeah, with his length and size, he can really impact the game as we've seen so far. And what's scary is we haven't even seen the best out of him in this game. And you know what's scary for the rest of OCAA?
Liam Marchetti, his serve to the middle. Crowther coming across, drops it down, and he'll go back serving. Fourth year out of London. Floater passed up by Tackix. Outside, Chirpy got through a couple of bodies. And Mitch Chirpy got up on the left side in his first kill of the evening. Matty Perron in his second year now for the Knights. Admins passes, Curtis will go outside, Patterson, touch off of Smith. Perron goes to Chirpy again, into the pot. And Hardadek was a little bit too late to that one. And a great play on the outside from Mitch Chirpy, and was gonna force the first timeout here from the Falcons.
Yeah, good timeout there by Patrick Johnston. Niagara starting to build some momentum, nearly doubling up. Fanshawe, and that's a scary sight for Fanshawe, although they're obviously a very experienced team, championship level team, despite the record being 2-2. So I'm sure that sideline there is still calm, cool, and collected, and they believe in themselves. They believe that they can be any team in the association.
Fanshawe, a lot of high-flying attackers on their team with Johnson, Patterson, and Admins on the outside. And they can string a lot of points together. NC got off to a good start, but they got to hold on to it here if they want to continue to dominate here in set number 1.
I don't think we've seen the best of Fanshawe yet, which is kind of scary for the Knights, but they've made a couple of minor mistakes, whereas the Knights have been more decisive at times.
Fanshawe, very tall team up at the net, and the Knights are doing a good job so far, crafting their way around it as Perron out of the timeout gets iced, and he serves it into the net. And it's going to set up Jacob Curtis, the first year at a Westmount secondary school, Hamilton, Ontario native. Left-handed center. Tackix had that one slip through his fingers. Chirpy's going to play over a high free ball. Fanshawe with time to work. Curtis outside. Johnson brings down the hammer, finds the back left corner.
Perfectly placed ball right there. No chance for any Knight in that far corner.
Curtis again serving for Fanshawe. Tackix able to pass this time. Chirpy on the offside, pulls it off the block. And for someone like Mitch Chirpy, undersized compared to some of the blockers he's going up against, only standing at 6 feet tall, but man, can he jump through the roof. And he's able to use that ability in his hang time to play shots off the block like he did there. And a great serve again. Admin's able to pass. Great set to the middle as Curtis connects with Iberg.
Yeah, Mitch.
Fanshawe side out. Sorry, Alex.
Mitch Chirpy, definitely. He is, like you said, 6 feet tall, but he plays much bigger to that. He plays with a lot of heart every single round for the Knights, and it's been fun to watch.
Tanner Patterson, his serve. Micah Newitz with a good pass. Chirpy out of the back row, able to tip it forward. Admins on the left side, tipping it right back, and he's able to get that one over Smith. Now cutting the lead down to just one.
I'll tell you what, that's not an easy task. Wisdom Smith, who's 6'8", and got a good wingspan, so getting that over him is no easy task.
Patterson serving once again for Fanshawe. His spinner, Chirpy. A little bit off, Perron having to fix it. Smith will push it deep. And it forces Fanshawe out of system here. Adams is going to have to dump over a free ball. Hits the antenna. And NC will side out once again. So Redicott now back serving for NC. His floor, Adkins passes. Curtis gonna go back to Johnson on the right side, and he plays it off the block and out of bounds. And back to 1 point game. Ibergen, his floater. Takis with a good pass. Marchetti out of the middle. They dig it up on Fanshawe's side, and they're going to call them on the net. So NC gets a point off the error. And that'll tee up Wisdom Smith serving. Admins on the outside, gets it through the block. And it's so powerful out of the left side. Is Zach Admins, the 4th year. So Jacob Johnson now serving. Chirpy passes. Perron elects to dump. It was read that time by Johnson. And he's going to play over a really tight free ball. Newitz comes across to take it. Push the outside. Tactics. Recovered. They're going to say it was a lift. So Fanshawe now tying this game up at 14. Johnson with serve for the Falcons. His deep flow just misses the back line, and Chirpy saw it all the way, made a good call. And they'll side out. Matty Tactics now back serving. Actually, he'll switch out now for the introduction of Ashton Newitz, who will sub-serve here for the Knights. Not known to come off the bench is Ashton Newitz, but gets into the game here, serving 15-14. Great get on the back end. Admins blocked by Perron. They're really honing in on Admins on this left side. The triple block from Chirpy, Marchetti, and Perron, and they stuff them this time. Ashton Newitz serving once again, 16-14. His spinner, a good one, an ace! Not much better than that. Can you make it for Ashton Newitz? And he's come into this game 2 great serves. And he's put NC up 3 now.
Pretty good way to start your game coming off the bench.
Ashton Newitz this time floats it out the back. Didn't get over it fully. So Admins now serving again for the Falcons. High-topping spinner, Newitz, excellent pass. Perron, Smith on the outside. Too much power behind that one, and Fanshawe couldn't keep it up. NC with a big side out on the back of Wisdom Smith.
Interesting to watch here as we approach the end of this set. Niagara has got 2 timeouts, Fanshawe with 1. So we'll see how that plays out in the last quarter of this set.
Leland Parento, another sub-server. He checks in now, serving for Marchetti. Outside Johnson, C-ball. No touch out the back. An attacking error, 19-15 now, and Fanshawe's going to make some substitutions. They're going to bring on Matt Stechnicki, as well as Ty Klassen, the Niagara native.
You almost have to feel like you're near timeout territory for Fanshawe as Niagara's built some momentum here.
Fanshawe looking for a different look now with Stechnicki with hands. And we'll see what he can do with. He'll go to the middle, Crowther straight down. So exactly what Patrick Johnston, head coach of the Fanshawe Falcons, would have wanted with those substitutions. He got the point he needed, and now Jaden Crowther back serving. Crowther's float, Newitt's passes, Perron, Chirpy! They're gonna say it hit the ground. Fanshawe can't believe it. It was almost an incredible dig by Admins. But Mitch Chirpy with another kill for NC, and Fanshawe not happy about the call. Because not only did they get up the first ball, they actually got it over, but the whistle had been blown. They called the ball on the ground.
I couldn't quite see it from my angle. Wasn't sure quite what happened, but it's the second time now that Advance has had a conversation with the official. Potentially 2 calls going the way of Niagara in this first set.
Matty Perron serving, pushing 5 here for NC in set number 1. His spinner passed up by Heart Attack. Outside, that one got pushed all the way out. And Fanshawe's gonna take their second timeout with NC up 5 here in set number 1. And the Knights doing a good job putting pressure on with these serves, and Fanshawe just making errors right now. Out.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're a little bit rattled in a sense from some of the potential missed calls going against them, but you have to play through it because it's obviously it's tough to stay composed, but you have no control over it. You can only control what you can control, as we're gonna get a replay of the last play by Chirpy.
Well, and one thing the Knights are controlling right now is they're attacking, and Mitch Chirpy's been the backbone early on for their success with that, and what a kill that was from Mitch Chirpy.
Couldn't quite tell there from the replay. It looks like one of the Falcons was in the way if that hit the ground or not, but it was definitely a tight call that could go either way. But now Fanshaw's out of timeouts. Niagara's got 2, so they're firmly in the driver's seat. However, it is still competitive. But if you're gonna need a run from Fanshawe, it has to come now.
So out of the timeout now. Matty Perron serving as NC looking to close this one out here, up 21-16. Perron, what a serve and ace! Can't be iced out of the timeout, Matty Perron.
You can try and ice him, but he's got ice in his veins, so Matty Perron has been dominant so far. The second-year player from Hamilton.
NC looking to take set number 1 here. Good get there from Patterson. They'll go to the outside. Klassen off hands. Fanshawe's going to recycle. Patterson on the left side now. Tips it over the block. Great get there by Chirpy. Newitt's in the back row trying to roll it over. And a little too soft on the attack. And Fanshawe's going to get those substitutions back as Curtis will check back in, as well as Johnson.
Yeah, it didn't look like Newitz got a ton on that one. I think he tried to kind of give a bit of a changeup, but didn't quite get enough on it. Left it in his own territory.
So Curtis now puts his serve into the net. And Mitch Chirpy's going to go back. Matty Tactics will come back in for Ashton Newitz. Pushing 2 here now for the Knights. 23-17, they lead. Chirpy passed up by Hernadeck. Out to the outside. Off the antenna, and see 1 point away here.
I'm interested to see how head coach Steve Stone will use his timeouts. Hopefully he doesn't have to use any.
Chirpy spinner. Passed up once again. Outside Johnson. Curtis gonna look to the middle. Wissam Smith got a touch, but they couldn't keep it up. Ibergen registers the point, and it'll now set up serve. But before that, Steve Stone will call that timeout.
Not really surprising, trying to ice the server, but you still got one in your back pocket. So if the next couple rounds don't go your way, you can still have that timeout in the back of your pocket. I like the timeout here. Obviously, Fanshawe building a little bit of momentum, but obviously Niagara firmly in the driver's seat.
Haven't had to use one thus far, and it's a good thing for the Knights. Just like you said, trying to ice the server can kind of waste one here.
I've probably mentioned this 100 times, but you can't bring the timeouts home with you or use them in the next set, so you might as well use them and give your guys a rest at the very least.
So out of the timeout, it's going to be Taylor Patterson, who will serve for Fanshawe. And NC just needing one with set point here in the first. Patterson, his spinner. Good. Tactics passes. Perron off the net. We'll use Tactics on the outside. Good dig from Fanshawe. They keep it alive. Can't get over the net, however, and that will do it. NC takes set number 1. 25-18, the final score. And a great start for the Knights early on here. They took the lead and ran with it for the rest of the first set. And Fanshawe some things to work on in set number 2, and it's going to have to come first off by stopping the outside attacks, which the Knights were having lots of success with those in the first set.
Yeah, and you talk about how, especially in the women's game, how starts and finishes were a problem. Niagara got the lead at the beginning and kind of kept their foot on the pedal to the metal, as you say, winning that first set by 7, putting themselves in a good position to take down a heavyweight opponent in Fanshawe despite their 2-2 record. And you could probably even make the argument that Niagara is better than their 2-1 record as well, losing their only game to Mohawk, which was probably a bit of an upset, but still.
So as we await the start for set number 2, you see Coach Patrick Johnson on your screen. Gonna have to figure something out here to find a way to win the second set. Can't go down 2-0. And we saw him make a couple changes in that first set, taking out Jacob Curtis to put in Matt Steknicki at the setter role, and as well putting in Ty Klassen out on the right side, and gave him a couple points but never really got them back into the game. And NC have just been consistent so far at their pass and serve receive, and a couple of the digs that they've had defensively, they've been able to turn into offense. And you see on your screen there, Wisdom Smith, he's had a couple kills, and we haven't really heard a lot from the NC middles in Marquetti as well as Rowan Redicop. They haven't been used as much as they usually do out of the middle, but it's just because the outsides have been so good with Matty Takix as well as Mitch Chirpy and Wisdom Smith we just talked about, just being so dangerous in that first set. They haven't really had to go to the middle, but we'll see how that changes in set number 2. Will Fanshawe try and close that down a little more and leave that middle more open? We'll have to see when we get underway.
Well, it's almost like, in a sense, you're picking your poison, because you're absolutely right. They didn't get the middle going, but you won by 8 without it, which is scary, because if they can get that going, who knows what the score is going to be. But like you said, it almost seemed like Fanshawe was like, you know what? If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us this way. And so far, Niagara is beating them through the outside.
So here we go. Both teams getting set to get on the court here for set number 2. NC taking the first. Fanshawe needing to win set number 2 here. Can't go down 2-0. They'll stick with the same lineup they had at the start of the game with one change. We'll see the introduction of Matt Slikerman on that middle blocker role from Brantford, Ontario. He gets his first start the first year here in set number 2. It'll start with Jacob Curtis behind the line serving for the Falcons.
Well, one thing to note with your point of not going down 0-2, Fanshawe's 0-2 on the road.
Redicop out of the middle. Great dig. Fanshawe keeps it alive. They'll go to Patterson on the outside. Touched on the block. Patterson will get another chance. This time he'll float one over. Free ball opportunity into the pot. What a dig by Admins. To the middle, Redicop again. Fanshawe scrappily able to keep it alive. Patterson, deep corner. Takix gets across. Wisdom Smith on the offside. Kills it cross court. And Fanshawe defensively, dig after dig there, but the Knights just a little too much for them on that point.
Yeah, Wisdom Smith keeping up his hot start. And to my point, with going down 0-2, Fanshawe hasn't won a game on the road this season, and going down 0-2 again on the road is playing with fire.
Adsman's passes through the middle, pushed down by Ibergen. And a good response from the Falcons.
A bit of an interesting schedule for Fanshawe. 6 of 7 games, including today, are all on the road. You don't usually see that.
Chirpy passes will go to Takix on the outside. Out, no touches. Fanshawe setting up a good block there. Matty Takix trying to hit around it, but couldn't find the court. And Patterson will go back for the Falcons. Patterson spinner, a good one. Takix passes up high. Piranha to the back row. Chirpy. Advents kept it alive. Falcons will throw over a free ball. What can NC do? They'll go to Smith on the outside. Yes, sir. Back right corner. And Wisdom Smith gets another kill in set number 2.
Yeah, Fanshawe is having no answer for Wisdom Smith, using his 6'8" height and length to his advantage here.
Rowan Redicop now serving. Curtis Curtis goes to the middle. Knights keep it alive. Will go back to Smith on the outside. Rolls one over. The overpass, and Fanshaw's gonna have to play over a free ball. Chirpy passing. Perron, Tactics was a little behind. He readjusted and did it well. Was able to hit it cross court. And NC retains the point. An ace from Redicop. As Hardetech came across, got a hand to it. But the serve from the first year is an ace. And NC now at 4-2. Back to back. He said, I'll do it once and I'll do it again. Rowan Redicop, another ace here for NC.
Redicop making his presence felt, taking over this game. This first-year player from Surrey, BC.
Outside, Admin straight at Perron. He got a touch, but too hot to handle. Admins gets a kill. Serving now, Ibergen. Smith had to readjust. He'll dump that one in the pot. Curtis will push the outside. It's tight to the pin. Fanshawe keeps it alive. It's a free ball. Newitt scrambling, had to play it over. Curtis switches up. Newitt, what a dig. Keeps it alive. Curtis once again to the middle. Crowther. Smith keeps it up. Perron, Smith. Chirpy got a touch and a block. Crowther.
Great play there by Newitt, even just to keep that one up. That definitely gets a gold star.
So now serving. It's Ibergen once again. Tactics a little bit off the net with his pass. Chirpy out of the back row. Single block from Crowther shuts him down. Ibergen, his floater, Tactics passes. Perron to the middle, Marchetti pushes it in on Admins, and not much he can do about it.
A little bit of an adjustment I've noticed over the last couple of rallies is Niagara seems to be almost throwing a bit of a change-up instead of the fastball to get their points.
Smith sends that one into the net.
And I know with Wisdom Smith, Fanshaw's been playing him to really hammer the ball, and he's thrown a couple of curveballs at Fanshawe.
Tactics on the outside. Just drops in off the block. Curtis got a touch on that on the right side. And Fanshawe takes the lead here, 7-6.
The Falcons blocking here, and especially these last 5 rallies or so, has been incredible.
Newitt's overpass. Fanshawe will take the free ball. Curtis in the middle. Crowther. Another kill out of the middle for Fanshawe. 8-6 now. And the Knights need a side out here, need to readjust. Serve from Slikerman, pass off the net. Good help set from Newitt. Triple block comes across, and Fanshawe are now winning these battles at the net, and Steve Stone's gonna need to take a timeout, and he does. As soon as Fanshawe is able to set up those bodies on the left side, it's really, really hard for anyone to hit around, and that's back-to-back blocks up in the net for Fanshawe. They take a 9-6 lead. And Steve Stone takes his first timeout.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself that you're probably in the timeout zone with these plays, but also it's not like it's just a simple point here or there. These are big momentum blocks that energize the Falcons. It's almost like in basketball where there's the big 4-point play or the poster dunk versus just an open layup, where those bring all the momentum towards one team. As we're going to get a replay from the block from the Falcons.
Just taking another look at that block, and pass was a little off the net. Newitz had to help it out. Tactics off the net as well, and just so much height up at the net with Crowther as well as Admins there, and they stuffed Tactics on the left side. So now out of the timeout, Slickerman serving for Fanshawe. Chirpy passing. Perron, Smith out of the C ball. Great play by Wisdom Smith. Saw the block coming down, just shoved it at them. And forced the error there. Tactics now serving. Curtis tight on the net, it's gonna be called. And a good serve from Tactics forces the error once again. And now NC's cut the lead to 1. Maddie Tactics, his spinner, good one. Arnautek had to pass it away and he'll throw over a free ball. Newitz to play with his hands. Perron, Chirpy, off the top of the block. Crowther just kept it alive. Out of the back row, out. And NC takes the point.
9 squared here in this second set. If I'm not mistaken, that's a 3-0 run for Niagara coming out of that timeout. So lots of momentum in Niagara's favor. As we mentioned so many times, this is a game of runs.
Maddie Tactics serve, it's past Curtis. Crowther! Man, when they connect, it's deadly for Fanshawe, and NC not able to do anything there.
Well, Fanshawe is definitely the bigger team compared to the two, and we've really seen it, especially in this second set here. The Falcons using their size to their advantage.
Hard serve was taken off by the net, and Smith's gonna have to throw over a free ball. Curtis to Crowther again! And that's an excellently run play as Crowther moved further to the left side, and Curtis found him. And we're gonna see a substitution as Riley Orr's gonna check in and give a little more height here at the net over Liam Marchetti to try and get a block here for NC. An ace from Admins as he drops it over the tape. And Fanshaw's now extended their lead to 3, 12-9 here. Spinner incoming again. This time it finds the net. Back serving after just getting subbed in, Riley Orr. Well in Ontario now. His spinner is into the net. So that'll set up Crowther serving for the Falcons. Up 3 now. Crowther's floater, Tactics got down to pass, and we'll say he meant to do it because it was a perfectly placed ball. As Crowther was a little slow to get up into the play after his serve, and Tactics took advantage of it. NC siding out, Perron now serving.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Perron's spinner, a good one. And Fanshaw's gonna have to play out of the back end. Patterson will roll one over into the corner, perfectly placed by Tanner Patterson. Curtis back again serving for the Falcons. 14-11, they lead. Soft serve passed up by Tactics. It'll go to Smith on the offside, trying to wipe it off the block. Curtis keeps it alive. Smith comes across in the double with Redekop, gets the stop. 14-12. Knights cut the lead to 2.
Yeah, the second set, Wisdom Smith's been kind of quiet, but with a play like that, he certainly, that's what we all know and love of what he can do if he can get back to that. It's scary hours.
Mitch Chirpy, high spinning serve, goes to the outside from Curtis, tipped over the block. Good cover there from Tactics. Curtis to the middle this time, blocked again. NC winning the battles up at the net. This time, Newitt's got a touch, Chirpy diving. And just couldn't keep it. Newitt's got a touch, but it wasn't enough to keep it alive. 15-12. Serving now, Tanner Patterson, the 4th year for Fanshawe. His spinner, Chirpy passes, outside, Tactics over the block, good cover from Admins. Right side, Slikerman tipped it over the block, and Tactics will reload. Patterson with the dig. Admins outside, trying to wipe it off the block, and Baran was there. Smith swings out the back end, and Fanshawe wins a big rally.
We'll get a sub here. Ashton Newitz will come on into the game for Matthew Tactics. You almost have to feel like it's potentially timeout zone for Steve Stone, as it's getting a little bit out of that competitive area.
Only one timeout left for Steve Stone. A good pass from Chirpy. Smith stopped by Admins. And they've really shut him down in set number 2. NC digging themselves in a hole, down 5 now.
Yeah, you have to give the coaching staff of Fanshawe a ton of credit, because he was dominant in that first set, and he's been shut down here, and that's a big reason why the Falcons are up 5.
Patterson, his spinner, a good one. Newitz with an even better pass, and just missed time that as Ashton Newitz was soaring but couldn't clear the ball over the net, and Steve Stone's going to take that second and final timeout. NC now down 6.
Yeah, we were talking about it in between sets, how Niagara was dominant on the outside, and they've been completely shut down. And it's been night and day in this second set, being down 6. So Wisdom Smith, as well as his fellow outside players, are going to have to step it up, because if they're going to want to win this game, the outside game's going to have to get going. And we know that they can. They showed it in the first, and they're obviously very, very talented, but lots of time left.
Steve Stone trying to rally his team here in set number 2, down 18-12. And Fanshawe looking to tie up the score here after the Knights took set number 1.
One thing to note, Niagara's out of timeouts, Fanshawe's got 2. Now with the way that the Falcons are going, they probably won't need to use them, but they'll probably burn at least one to ice a server at some point.
So out of the break, it'll be Tanner Patterson serving. His spinner took a little bit off it, but Redekop read it tight to the net. Redekop able to play that first ball. Ashton Newitz pushes one over. Admins loading up off his shoulder, off the block. Redekop, what a play on that rally from him. And there's a conversation here with the head referee, not really sure what it's about. Could be some after the play shenanigans that she saw.
Admans and Choupy are both with the official. I think that's the third time that Admans had a chat with the lead official. Didn't look like there was a missed call. Wasn't sure what the explanation was. As Patrick Johnson wants an explanation about what the call was.
So it will be point NC, and we'll see a substitution now as Leland Parento checks in.
Well, this is right in the zone where Niagara is, if they're going to want to win this set, they need to have a rally now, because once this gets to 7 or 8, that's a little bit out of reach considering they'd be at 21-22.
Parento action now in both sets here as he subserves. Curtis to the outside, Admins trying to play it off the block, and it's down and in. And NC now, with that size and wisdom, Smith on the outside is using it here to shut down Admins after the timeout.
Well, we talked about how Wisdom Smith needed to get it going in the second set after he was dominant in the first. That's a great way to get started on getting back to his
Curtis outside, looking for a touch, but none will come. And Fanshaw's going to take their first timeout as NC cuts the lead now down to 3, 18-15 they lead. And they're just doing a better job shutting down these attackers up at the net and making them change their shot. And that time, that one sails way out the back.
Well, it almost seems like Niagara got away, or excuse me, the Falcons got away with what was working, with taking away the outside. And obviously Wisdom Smith has started to get going, which is not a good sign for the Falcons, because he's obviously dominant at a 6'8" frame on the outside. So the Knights will probably look to ride his wave towards the end of this set and throughout the rest of the match. I don't know about you, Noah, but this one feels like it's going to at least 4.
We'll have to see. NC are going to want to see that 2-0 lead after 2. Fanshawe can't let that happen, because then that puts them in a real hole heading into set number 3. They hold the lead right now, but the momentum with NC. Fanshawe out of the timeout looking to change that narrative.
1 timeout left for Fanshawe.
Leland Parento again serving out of the timeout, sub-serving in for Liam Marchetti. His floater. Curtis to the middle. Perfect response from the Falcons, and they go to Ibergen out of the middle, and he makes no mistake. And now he'll go back serving.
Substitutions for both sides here, with Fanshawe up by 4.
19-15, Ibergen deep shot, paints the line.
That was close. That could have went the other way. That was a very tight call, but we mentioned before, a great response out of that timeout, bring the lead up to 5.
Fanshawe now pushing 5. Ibergen this time takes a little bit off it. Ashton Newitt's gonna have to play it here on the left side. Just out. No touch on the block, so Fanshawe 4 away now from tying it at 1 set apiece. Float serve, Ashton Newitt's passes, Perron, chirpy out of the back row. Fanshawe keeps it up. NC was celebrating. They can't believe that ball was still up. And Admins on the swing brings the hammer and wins the point.
Looked like that one hit the ground.
NC can't believe that that ball didn't touch the ground on the Fanshawe Falcons side. We'll take a look at that replay and see if we can make out what happened. It came to Chirpy on the outside, the ball dropping. Oh, that hit the ground. You can see it on the replay and you can hear the fans' reaction. Unfortunately, they can't change the call because of the replay, but that clearly hit the ground. And if you take a look at that again, NC has just been robbed of a point as that totally hit the ground. And that's what you get. Ball don't lie. Fanshawe into the net.
You know what? You might have given up that point, but the crowd's getting into it. You're building some momentum off of that, even though you sacrificed the 2-point swing.
Awesome job from our crew behind the camera to get that replay. And Crowther brings it right back. And Fanshawe, no matter what happens, they find a way to get themselves back. And they've built the lead, now 7. Slikerman, his serve, passed up by Chirpy. Smith out of the back row. Twisted on his head, and that one goes out of play. So Fanshawe now with set point here, 24-16. Slikerman. Chirpy comes across to pass. They'll go to Marquetti in the middle. Pardon me, that was Redekop coming across. No, pardon me again, that was Riley Orr. What a hit out of the middle. Riley Orr in his first action here in set number 2, and big hit out of the middle. Ashton Newitz took a touch off the tape. Curtis will go to the outside, wrap around. And that's gonna do it. Crowther single-handedly was the main attacker here for Fanshawe. Had an excellent second set, and the Falcons tied up at 1-1 now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great response after losing the first set by, I believe, 7 or 8. However, it almost seems like off of that missed call, some momentum was gained towards the Knights. And obviously they were very upset, and rightfully so. But you have to play through it if you have no control over the officiating. So Niagara looking to bounce back after the missed call.
You're exactly right though, Alex. It's really hard to come back from a call that's made, and of course you see it up on the big screen, which we have the luxury of that here at the Simply Financial Athletic Center. And the crowd got behind it, and they were up and roar that that ball clearly hit the ground, but how do you mentally get back into the game and try and come back in a set like that? Very difficult, but they'll wipe that one away and now focus on set number 3, the all but important one.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that one play probably doesn't change the outcome of that set. But I know, obviously, the emotions get high. I know I've played sports. I know Noah Vogel beside me, the superstar on the men's soccer team, the captain. But obviously emotions get high. Both of these teams want to win. We saw the emotions get high from Fanshawe in the first set. But it's also that one play, it was a very close call. Emotions are running high for the officials too. Tough play for everyone involved, but both teams looking to reset, going back into this all-important third set.
So Fanshawe looking to keep that momentum after set number 2. The Knights needing a response here.
We talked about in between the first and second set how dominant Niagara was on the outsides. The narrative completely flipped. Did a complete 180. Wisdom Smith was shut down for the first 60% of that set. Got it going a little bit. However, a fairly convincing win for Fanshawe in the second set. As we get a look at Chupri trying to hype up his guys, the heart and soul of that team. He might only be 6 feet tall, but he plays like he's 6'6", with his heart and intensity, trying to get his guys going.
So Fanshaw's going to stay with the same lineup they started with in set number 2.
Well, why change what was working in that set? That was a convincing win for Fanshawe. If you could do it over again, you would. Well, I think you do over any set that you play, but.
NC gonna do the same as they keep Riley Oren at the middle, as well as Rowan Redicop manning that center of the court. And it's gonna start with Mitch Chirpy behind the service line. So here we go for set number 3, tied at 1 apiece. Both teams looking for that 2-1 set advantage. It's going to start off with Mitch Chirpy for NC. Adman's passes, it'll go to the middle. Perron kept it up. Newitz will have to throw over a free ball. Patterson passing to the middle again. Ibergen was blocked that time, and NC will be able to use it here. Finds the corner, Winston Smith on the right side. And had a slow second set. Maybe he can bring it back here in set number 3.
Well, we've seen so far this season Wisdom Smith be dominant. And obviously he's a first-year player, so you're going to struggle, and that's perfectly okay.
Great serve from Chirpy, but passed just as well. Go to the outside and tipped over the block. And they're going to say NC went under the net. And that error will give Fanshawe the point.
However, to my point, with the glimpses that Wisdom Smith has shown, the future is very bright for the Knights, as well as Wisdom Smith himself, the first-year player from Surrey, BC. Excuse me, Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Patterson serve, passed up by Micah Newitz. Good cover by Chirpy, go to Takix on the outside. Newitz was tracking back, and he couldn't make a play on it. And a good block up at the net once again. Ibergen getting the touch.
Yeah, an awkward play there for Newitz, kind of backtracking, trying to make a play on that, almost like a second baseman or a shortstop trying to catch a blooper in the short outfield.
Tanner Patterson, his spinner, Chirpy. Perron, back set for Smith. Up at the net, Redicop had a ball sitting for him at the net, and he wailed that out the back end. That's a tough one for him, Italy. It's just sitting there, and you want to hit it so badly. And that one he didn't get right that time. Fanshawe with an early 3-1 lead. Here's Tanner Patterson. Another great pass from Chirpy. Perron, Takix. Off the block and down. And Matty Takix still trying to figure out how to work around that block on the right side from Caden Ibergen, 6'7", as well as Matt Slikerman, 6'5". That's a huge block on that right side.
Yeah, Matty Takix has kind of been shut down a bit as the point will go to Niagara. But then again, it is so very early that Takix will probably turn it around, as we've seen how good he can be.
So Redicop serving. Tough pass. They'll have to play to the outside. Triple block was down. Curtis had a race for that second ball. Way out the back, NC sides out.
Now we're knotted at 4. Excuse me, 3-4 for Fanshawe.
Rowan Redicop serving. Patterson to pass. Curtis to the outside. Admins off the block on the antenna. And a quick side out for the Falcons.
Great effort there by Wisdom Smith, making his presence felt, although didn't get the point, but nonetheless, great effort there, applying pressure on the block.
Ibergen, tactics passes on his knees. He'll throw it to Chirpy. All the way out of bounds. Chirpy, too much heat behind that one. Ibergen got behind it, but it went way out of play.
Smart play there by the Knights just to let it go out of bounds. No point in risking it.
Thank you.
So Wisdom Smith behind the service line. Floater is good. Curtis to the outside. Admins tight to the net. Wipes it off the block. And what a play from Zach Admins. Did that perfectly. Tools it 6-4 now for the Falcons.
If Niagara's going to want to win this, they're going to need to find an answer for...
Slikerman, overpass from Newitz. Fanshawe will reset. Admins can't stop this man right now. As he continues to lay it down on NC here, 7-4 now.
Yeah, the interior line from Fanshawe has been utterly dominant. If Niagara wants to win this game, they're going to need to figure out how to fix that.
Slikerman a heavy serve. Perron chasing for it. Tactics off the net. Rolled over. Curtis, Admins again. Chirpy this time digs it up. Newitz coming across to play it. Smith got it over. Curtis, that's a tight one. Admins able to fix it. Chirpy couldn't get to it. And Admins again winning the point for the Falcons. Slikerman continuing to serve well here.
Zach Admins, the fourth-year player from St. Thomas. He's only 6'5". It feels like he's playing like he's 6'8".
That time into the net, and NC catches a break, a much-needed side out. And Tactics will now serve for NC. Tactics high spinner. Passed up by Patterson, off the net. Curtis, what a get to put that in a position for Admins. Perron on the run, sends it all the way back. They're going to call him on a lift.
More simple mistakes by the Knights, which we saw a little bit in that second set. Maybe a little bit rattled from that missed call.
Zach Admins now back serving. Newitz with an excellent pass. Wisdom Smith out of the back row. Come on, he shakes his head, says that's too easy. Need to see more of that from Wisdom Smith if you're the Knights.
Well, you see Wisdom Smith do that and you think, why can't he do this every single time? Because it looks easy. He's obviously 6'8". From Winnipeg.
Riley Orr, an ace! That's what you want to see if you're Riley Orr after that mishap on his first serve, and puts that one right down in front of Patterson. An excellent serve. NC within 2 now.
Well, that's a real good way to build momentum.
Orr this time puts it into the net.
As the commentator's jinx comes into an effect there.
So Jaden Crowther now. He'll float one up. It's passed up by Tactics. Overpass. Newitz couldn't get there in time. And put down by Ibergen. Crowther once more. Tactics had trouble with that pass. NC will throw over a free ball. Tried to play on the 2-ball was Curtis, spinning on that left hand. He sends it right into the net. And NC a little bit of life after that play.
You know, we've mentioned some things that Niagara hasn't done well. But at the end of the day, they're only down 3. This is still a very winnable set.
Perron, his serve. Off the top tape and out of play. Wisdom Smith was watching that one all the way.
Wisdom Smith with some wisdom to let that one go.
Matty Perron again here for NC. Passed up. Tactics try to reach back for it. And got a touch to it, but Ibergen just a little too strong on that attack. So here's Jacob Curtis. Off the hands of Tactics. Wisdom Smith trying to readjust, and that's a tough get for a lefty on the left side coming across your body. And the Knights will get a new look here with Ashton Newitz checking in for Matty Tactics. Curtis, his serve. Ashton Newitz passing off the net. A great set from Perron. Radikoff was red though that time. And Fanshawe just seems to always have an answer for the Knights right now. And Steve Stone's going to take his first timeout, 14-9. The Falcons lead here in set number 3.
Yeah, I think that's a good timeout. Obviously, momentum. It seems like when Niagara responds with a punch, Fanshawe punches right back. And the last couple of points, it's been the interior line being dominant as we saw before, and once Niagara was getting some more momentum back into this game, it came from their interior line. However, Fanshawe is getting back to what they were doing so well.
So first timeout taken by the Knights in set number 3. And if they're going to want to come back here, they need to figure out how to work themselves around this Fanshawe block. And we'll see how they adjust out of the timeout. So here we go. It'll stay with Jacob Curtis, the server for Fanshawe. Ashton Newitz passes Perron outside to Chirpy, trying to wipe it off the block. He throws it over. Curtis has to take first ball. Outside, Patterson plays it off hands. It stayed in anyways. And a good swing on the outside, as Harnatek had to take hands out of the libero position and played a good ball to the outside for Patterson. Curtis floater. Ashton Newitz passes. Redikoff had to readjust there. They're going to call him on the lift.
Fanshawe is the more experienced team coming into this game. It feels like that's really helped them, especially into this second set, because after Niagara responds, they're all calm, cool, and collected.
Tight to the net. Perron tried to save it. He couldn't keep it on his own side. And NC just need to focus on getting a good pass here and a good attack, as Lima Parento is now going to check in at the center role. They'll get a different look here from Matty Perron. Curtis serving once again. Newitz passing. Parento will go to the outside. Smith wailed at that one. And didn't get fully over top and sails it out the back.
Fanshawe now doubling up Niagara.
The lead slowly slipping away now as Fanshawe 18-9 they lead here in set number 3.
You've got to think that another timeout might be coming here soon for Niagara.
Micah Newitz to Parenzo, Smith again. And the Knights just stuck in this rotation right now. And they're gonna try and get out of it. They're gonna take off Wisdom Smith, and Jack Drummond will get his first action here tonight.
They're gonna play small here. Their tallest player out there is Rowan Redekop, who's only 6'4".
Ashton Newitz passes, they'll go to the middle. Redekop, Drummond will play it off the block. He'll get it now on the left side, tools it off, and Jack Drummond wins the point. NC needed that. Mitch Chirpy for NC, down 9 here. Curtis outside. Ashton Newitz got hands on that one. Tight to the net, Parenzo. Chirpy will help it out. Ashton Newitz over the block. What a pancake dig by Curtis. Parenzo with hands. Ashton Newitz. Yes, sir! Ashton Newitz trying to get going here in set number 3, his first kill.
Ashton had his fingertips all over that rally there. Nearly with
took a touch and an ace for Mitch Chirpy. NC trying to crawl the way back here, cutting the lead down to 7.
the small ball taking out Wisdom Smith seems to be working. As I mentioned before, the tallest player on the court is 6'4".
Passed up, Curtis able to get it. Fanshawe will throw over a free ball. Parenzo on the run, trying to get it back for Drummond. He throws it over. Curtis to the middle. What a get by Parenzo. Helped out by Micah Newitz. Drummond will drop it over. At the net, cross court, out of play. NC holding on here, and Fanshawe's going to take a timeout. 4 straight points for the Knights, and they've cut the lead down to 6, and all the momentum with them now.
Yeah, good timeout there from Patrick Johnston. 4-0 run there coming off the timeout, and Niagara playing small, as I mentioned before, the tallest player on the court, Matthew Perron, who's 6'4", which in terms of volleyball is not all that tall for your tallest player on the court, but it seems to be working as the interior for Fanshawe was real dominant. But obviously Steve Stone is an incredible coach, coaching both the men and the women with a great adjustment. I'm sure that's being talked about in the huddle for Fanshawe.
So can NC make the comeback here in set number 3? Fanshawe looking to hold on. They take their first timeout here. Still leading 19-13. Mitch Chirpy serving for the Knights. Chirpy, his spinner, a good one. Atman's passes. Curtis will go to the outside. Slikerman over top of the block and sides out for Fanshawe. They're pushing 5 here now. Tanner Patterson, his spinner. Newitz got to it. Parenzo went under the net. It was out of play.
Way under the net there. Mitch Chirpy wanting an explanation from the official.
Patterson again serving for the Falcons. Patterson, a good serve. Ashton Newitz, Parenzo, Radikoff out of the middle. Great play and good decision from Leland Parenzo. And Radikoff, after that big kill, is gonna step out for Noah Tremblay, who's gonna come in and sub-serve.
Interesting to see how Fanshawe will use their last timeout here. Both of these teams with one timeout remaining. But Niagara here building some momentum.
Tremblay serving. Outside Athens. In and down. NC got away with that one there as Micah Duitz was still in the court. They had 7 out there. And finally he got off just before the serve was put in, but didn't matter. Fanshawe won it anyways.
Wasn't sure if that was caught on camera, but some fans were silently letting Micah know about it. Not trying to get him in trouble.
So we'll see Logan Simmons now check in, the first year out of Kitchener. And he's going to come and sub-serve for the Falcons, pushing 3 here. His serve into the net. And a tough way to come in, and one of the hardest things to do in volleyball is serve cold like that off the bench. And now Jack Drummond will go back for the Knights.
You've got to think if Niagara gets another point or two that Patrick Johnson will use his timeout.
Good serve from Drummond. Curtis is going to go to the outside. Slikerman, who is dug up by Drummond. Off the net, Ashton Newitz! Right on the back line, and Knights needed that. They got to be perfect pretty much from here on out. 22-16. Fanshawe up 6 here. Drummond, that one too long. So now serving Matt Slikerman. Parenzo, outside Ashton Newitz, come on! He's come in and made a real impact here in set number 3. And now he's gonna go back serving for NC.
Absolutely right, his presence has been felt. Coming off the bench. If it weren't for him, this deficit would probably be near double digits.
Newitz took a touch off the net. Patterson with one hand able to get it over. Parenzo trying to dump it over his red. Parenzo, that's a double hit, and that's really unfortunate for NC.
Yep.
And now set point here for the Falcons, but first Steve Stone's gonna take the timeout. And the Knights have just dug themselves a little too much of a hole. It's gonna take a lot here if they're gonna want to come back.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Assuming the way we assume things will go the way they will, Niagara will be down 2-1 after this set, which is a difficult task. But going up against a championship level team like Fanshawe, despite what their 2-2 record shows, we all know how good of a team they are despite their slow start. Winning 2 sets in a row is going to be difficult. But at the same time, there's no better test to test your team's mental resiliency and toughness than to win potentially 2 sets in a row.
So Fanshawe with set point, trying to go up 2-1 here. None other than Zach Adlin serving for the Falcons. High toss spinner into the net. That point goes to Steve Stone, able to ice the server that time. So Riley Orr now going to go back serving for the Knights. Orr's serve, his spinner is good. Adman's passes will go to the outside. Patterson! Oh my word, he hung up there for a while before smashing it down and winning the set for the Falcons. And Fanshawe, in fashion, come away with a third set win, 25-18. They lead 2-1, and NC have made a lot of changes since the first set. A lot of players being featured there in set number 3. They need to figure out what's going to work, and now a must-win set number 4.
Absolutely. It almost, all of these 3 sets, despite Niagara winning the first, it feels like they've all kind of had the same story. One team getting the lead and kind of just cruising towards the end, winning comfortably. We mentioned Niagara being dominant on the outside in the first half, and that's been completely taken away by Fanshawe. You got to give them a ton of credit because that was their Achilles heel in that first set, and that's been completely flipped.
So a do or die set now for NC. Fanshawe won 2 straight. Now they have a 2-1 lead here heading into the 4th set.
Niagara's in jeopardy of losing their 2nd in a row, and Fanshawe is looking to break that 2-game losing streak, if you can call it a streak. Trying to get back to the top of the conference, as we all know they probably will be towards the end of the season.
So we'll see what kind of lineup Steve Stone will come out with in set number 4.
It'll be interesting to see if they play small again, because that lineup did work kind of in the middle of that that middle of that set. However, Fanshawe did have an answer for it, but that lineup has probably been their best lineup since the first set. But I mean, if you're Fanshawe, you don't change anything, and you continue to ride the weight of Zach Admans, who's the 4th-year player who's been unbelievable. He's 6'5", but he plays like he's 6'8".
So no surprises here. Fanshawe will stay with the same lineup they've had for the past 2 sets. As we get nearing underway here for set number 4, Fanshawe with a 2-1 lead. Knights need to win this set here. And as they come out to the court, Matty Perron's going to step back into the setting role. Riley Orr back there with Rowan Redekop in the middle. Mitch Chirpy, Ashton Newitt's now getting the start in this set, as well as Micah Newitt's at libero was Wisdom Smith out on the right side.
Looks like they won't be playing small with Wisdom Smith coming back into the game, and if Niagara wants to win, they're going to need to get him going, but it's kind of hard to leave and justify leaving Wisdom Smith on the bench.
So Jacob Curtis will start things off here in set number 4. Right to the middle they go, and Redekop, that's a double hit. And NC is going to take the first point of the set. Fanshawe leading 2-1. NC need this one here to force a 5th. Mitch Chirpy serving for the Knights. Paints the corner. Mitch Chirpy an ace. Great right in front of the line judge, and the call says in. Mitch Chirpy will take another one here. Behind the service line, 2-0 Knights. Chirpy again to the back row. It's passed up by Hernadak. Outside comes Slikerman, and he finds the back corner. Tanner Patterson serving now, the 4th year out of Baden, Ontario. His spinner, Chirpy passes. Perron, Ashton Newitz rolling that one over. It was read by Admins. Slikerman for the right side this time. Same result. Wow, has he been good since coming in set number 2. Listed as a middle hitter, has been playing on the right-hand side. And he's been electric for Fanshawe. Patterson just gets over. Knights are able to keep it alive. Smith will take hands this time. And again, who else but Slikerman at the net? He gets the block. So Patterson continues to serve. Fanshawe, 3 straight points, 3-2 they lead. Patterson a little more height on that toss, and it sends out the back. And now Rowan Redekop's gonna serve for the Knights. Floater passed up by Admins. He'll get it back on the left side. Chirpy on the back. We'll pop that one up. Kept alive by the Falcons. Tight on the net. Tipped over. Perron kept it alive. Admins off. Tried to wipe it off the block. It's in. And NC will take that one. Redekop serves, passed up by Hernadak. Back row from Patterson, a huge hit, but dug up by the Knights. Outside Slikerman, popped up off the block. They're gonna say they touched the net.
Patrick Johnson not liking something. From the officials. I think he wants an explanation, but won't get it.
Floater from Ibergen to the middle. Orr gets the kill. And a good decision there from Perron to find Riley Orr out of the middle. And now with some Smith back serving. NC leading 5-4.
Good start for the Knights here.
Smith's floater, Patterson to pass, Curtis to the middle. Wisdom, Smith with the dig. Over top of the block, it's pancaked up. They say it touched the ground. And Mitch Chirpy so decisive when hitting out of the pipe position that time, leading all the blockers to the net as he dumps it into the pot.
Mitch Chirpy's been dominant in this 4th set.
Curtis outside, Admins off the block and tools it. So Matt Slikerman now serving for Fanshawe. Spinner, Chirpy passing, Perron's gonna push to the outside, Ashton Newitz off hands, and Fanshawe will try their turn on offense, but Admin's too soft on the dump.
I was a little bit surprised Matt Slikerman made the play on the ball. It looked like it was going out. But then again, Niagara getting their point regardless.
Ashton Newitz serving. Curtis, who'll go back to Admins. And why not? Because he can do stuff like that. Straight down. Ashton Newitz had no chance on the dig.
I think we can both agree that Admans has been the Fanshawe Falcons MVP today.
Zach Admins now serving. High tossing spinner, out of play. A good read from Ashton Newitz to leave that one. So now it'll set up Riley Orr, the hometown Welland native, serving. Patterson will have to help out with set. That one rolled over, and Slikerman just found the hole in the Knights' defense. So Jaden Crowther now is serving. Here comes Crowther. His float sailed at the back, so Fanshawe 2 times they've sided out, and they've just given it right back to NC.
Almost similar in a sense to what we saw in the second and third sets from the Knights, where they almost kind of made silly mistakes like that, and Fanshawe was able to take advantage, and now Niagara's looking to do the same.
9-7, Knights lead. Perron spinner. Passed up by Patterson. Perfect. He'll get it back on the left side. Out of play. NC gets a break that time. Good block setup, making Patterson go to the outside. Can't find the line. And Fanshaw's going to take their first timeout with Knights leading 10-7 here in the all but important, because NC has to win this 4th set. They're up 10-7.
Yeah, I've liked the Knights start so far. They're taking advantage of mistakes from Fanshawe, but they're not really doing anything flashy. They're just kind of getting it done. And they don't ask how you do it. They ask how many points you get. So I'm sure they're happy that they're playing kind of not a super flashy game, but they've got the lead. That's all that matters. See what adjustments are made out of the timeout. I know, just glancing over at Patrick Johnston, doesn't seem like he's too much of a happy camper at times, both with the officials and his players. Obviously, they're not used to losing. They don't want to go 2-3.
So out of the timeout, it's going to be Matty Perron serving for the Knights. Came out of that 3rd set, was struggling a little bit, but has now found his groove back here in set number 4. And trying to command the Knights here to a win and force a 5th set. Perron, excellent serve. Yes, sir, that's an ace.
That's a work of art. I believe that's 2 or 3 of those aces that we saw from the Knights this round, if I'm not mistaken. Picture perfect.
Perron again, 11-7 Knights lead. This time he sends it into net. So gets one and gives one. And Jacob Curtis will now go back serving for Fanshawe. His floater into the net. And that's another missed serve for Curtis. And NC gets the point right back with Mitch Chirpy serving now.
More of those mental errors from Fanshawe and Niagara so far is taking advantage.
Chirpy, high toss spinner, passed up by Harnedek. Outside, Slikerman looking for a touch, won't get it. That one flown out the back. And NC with a 5-point lead now.
I really like what I've seen from NC. Like I've mentioned, not too flashy, but there's been a couple of aces here from Mitch Chirpy, which have been incredible.
Another great serve. Harnedek up to the challenge. Slikerman. NC able to keep it up off the block. It was for Chirpy. Reaching back, was able to keep it alive. To the middle. Wow, what a get by Chirpy, but they couldn't keep it. As Ibergen again out of the middle connecting with Curtis, and he's finding his middles like butter right now for Fanshawe. He's been doing it all game. And now here's Tanner Patterson. Serve out the back this time, can't find the line. So service error is hurting Fanshawe right now. And we'll see that same substitution we saw last set. Noah Trombley gonna check in for Rowan Redicop. He'll come in and sub-serve.
Well, you're talking about service errors. They've made a couple of them now, but at the end of the day, you're only down 5. This is still a very winnable set. That's not out of the reach now.
Off the top tape, Curtis will take it. Admins cross court, can't find it. So Tremblay comes in and gets a point off his serve. And Fanshaw's gonna take their second timeout now, 15-9, and a 6-point lead for the Knights.
A little bit interesting that they use it now, considering they just used their last one, their previous one, a few minutes ago. But obviously Niagara building a ton of momentum.
So no timeouts left for Fanshawe. NC still with 2, and they lead by 6. And a must-win set number 4.
These two teams will play each other down in London on Wednesday the 27th. Both the men and the women. Niagara looking to sweep the doubleheader for volleyball today and went 3 out of 4 of the quadruple header.
Yeah, the reunited week end here at Niagara College. We started off with women's basketball at noon today, and we've been here throughout the day. And the final game here now. NC looking to come back from a 2-1 set deficit. And it's Noah Tremblay sub-serving again out of the timeout. Floater passed up by Patterson to the middle. Sherpy able to dig it up. They'll go to Smith on the outside. Curtis, Admins tight, wiped it off the block, and NC gonna be able to play a free ball here to the middle. Patterson got it up. Curtis kept it alive, but not high enough. They could keep it in play. And NC, again, siding out here. Surprised to see Admins come out, but he has been struggling on that left side to find a kill here. Ty Klassen will check in now, the Niagara native, to give Fanshawe a different look.
Well, if it weren't for Admins, they wouldn't be in this position now, and obviously he's starting to struggle a little bit. So probably a good time to take him out because he's been on the court for a very long time and a well-deserved rest.
So Tremblay gonna try and continue his serving streak here. And puts it into the net. So tried to take a little bit off that serve and took too much off. So now Ibergen will come back and serve for Fanshawe. His floater out of play. Good eye from Ashton Newitz to leave that one. And we're going to see another substitution here as Wisdom Smith will check out for Matty Takix to try and get a different look defensively here as Matty Takix will now go and serve.
Well, the smaller lineup for Niagara the last set and a half has been really good despite Niagara losing.
Takix a good serve. Curtis to the outside. Off the block and out. Klassen, his first attack of the game, and he's got a tool.
Niagara lost the third set, but they were getting doubled by Fanshawe, and then they went to the smaller lineup, and it became competitive again. And it seems like this smaller lineup has been working really well for the Knights.
So Fanshaw's going to make a double substitution here to keep 3 attackers here. They're going to send Matt Steknicki in. Now he's going to serve. He'll take over setting role. As well as him, Johnson will check in on the outside. Chirpy from the back row reaching. Perron helps it out to Newitz on the outside, and a one-handed get as Hernadek keeps that one alive. Perron back set for Takis. See balls put over. Working again. Takis. Fanshawe was on the net. And a good rally is won by NC, continuing to stretch their lead. Ashton Newitz serving for the Knights. Hardadek passes, they'll go to Johnson. Newitz with the dig. And lots of bodies on the net. I'm really sure what they're gonna call here. So it's gonna be a reserve because there was at least 3 or 4 players that touched the net that time. So Ashton Newitz will replay this point here. And this time we'll throw it out the back. And Fanshawe will take the point, 18-12. Steve Stone's going to call a timeout here. He's got 2 left to burn here in set number 4, and I think it's a good time to take it. Just slow things down, make sure everyone's on the same page. Decently comfortable 6-point lead here late, but anything can happen. Of course, Fanshawe known to be able to string a lot of points together. The Knights need to hold on here in this must-win set number 4.
Well, we've said it a bunch of times, and I'll say it again. This is a game of runs. So slowing down the pace and giving your guys a rest after a bunch of long rallies really is good. And obviously you mentioned you can't bring your timeouts with you into the next set. So good timeout by Steve Stone. Having a discussion with the official. One thing I've kind of weird to think about, all 4 sets haven't really been close, and yet as of now it looks like we're going to a 5th set.
So out of the timeout, it'll be the substitute Ty Klassen serving for the Falcons. Ashton Newitz passes. Perron behind Chirpy was able to readjust. It's still up at the net. Perron to the outside. Chirpy trying to wipe it off the block. He'll reset it. Pushes over. Fanshawe can now attack. Patterson on the left side. Chirpy kept it alive. Reaching back, he can play it over, and Fanshawe now on the attack. Johnson, easy dig there for Ashton Newitz. Takis, see ball, good reach. What a rally this is. What a spot from Mitch Chirpy. Saw the spot on the court and found it. And a huge momentum win there for the Knights. They now lead 19-12. And Leland Parento's gonna check in for Riley Orr. He'll sub-serve.
I'm interested to see how Zach Admans is deployed going in towards the end of this set and into potentially the 5th.
Parento serve, passed up Patterson, tight to the net, will recycle it off the block. NC keeps it alive. What a push from Perron. Looking for a touch, they won't get it. And the Knights can't believe it. Takis from the back row was looking for a touch. But nonetheless, Fanshawe will side out there, now leading, or pardon me, down 19-13 here. serve incoming. Ashton Newitt's passes. Chirpy! Come on, Mitch Chirpy has turned it up here late in set number 4. NC trying to force a 5th here. Wisdom Smith going to come back in for Maddie Takix. But Mitch Chirpy on this left side has been carving through the Fanshawe defense. Maddie Perron, his spinner. Patterson to pass, a little bit off the net. Johnson to readjust. And couldn't have put it in a better spot. Nobody there for the Knights. And Johnson will side out and now serve. Jacob Johnson, his floater into the net. NC pushing for 21-14.
Not quite enough on that serve there. Niagara up by a touchdown.
No timeouts left for Fanshawe. Mitch Chirpy serving for the Knights. Hernadek to pass. Chirpy racing across. Will keep that one alive. Ashton Newitt down, and NC 3 points away from forcing a 5th set here at the Sibley Financial Athletics Center. And Fanshawe's going to make those substitutions back. Curtis will come back in, as well as Matt Slikerman. So Chirpy trying to ice this set here for the Knights. Klassen will pass off the net, attacking from the right side. Patterson, NC got a good touch. Chirpy with a good take. Pushing across, and what a get by Klassen to keep that one alive. Tight to the net, Patterson will dump it over. Smith read it, Chirpy from the right side now. Out of the left side, and Slikerman can't find the court. NC 2 away now. Chirpy puts into the net, and unfortunate for NC. He was trying to ace out Fanshawe here, but now it'll set up Tanner Patterson. He'll serve for the Falcons.
Keep an eye on if Steve Stone's going to use his final timeout. 1 timeout remaining for him, none for Fanshawe, excuse me.
Patterson, Chirpy passes, Perron pushing it for Newitt. Off the top of his head. Ashton Newitt has delivered here in set number 4 for the Knights. And another kill coming on the back of number 8.
Ashton Newitt's coming off the bench today.
Rowan Redekop, his serve. Curtis having to push far side. Klassen will roll one over. Chirpy able to keep it alive. Smith reaching back. Curtis to the middle. Or got a touch, but sliding across was Redekop. He couldn't keep it up. To the middle, or no touch. And Fanshawe with life here. NC just need 1 point to send it to a 5th set. Serve is good. Chirpy passes. They'll go to Smith on the right side. Off the top of his head, Wisdom Smith. And the Knights are going to force a 5th set here at the reunited day at Niagara College. NC looking to do the double. The women's winning earlier today. And the Knights, after going down 2-1 on sets, tied up again and will go to a 5th and final set here. Alex, what did NC do better in that set to come back that they need to continue to do in set number 5?
Well, I think Fanshawe made some mistakes on their own. And obviously, I think the smaller lineup from the Knights, although I will say Wisdom Smith, especially towards the end of that 4th set, really turned it on. And another thing that we talked about, Zach Admans hasn't been in the game since probably the halfway point of the 4th set, and he was taking over the game, really. He obviously slowed down a bunch, but I bet he'll get deployed here in the 5th and final set. You have to go with your best guys.
We will see what Patrick Johnson will decide to do, whether he'll bring back Admins in this game or continue with the lineup he had out on the court.
Well, they lost the set without him, so I bet they'll give him another shot.
So 5th set to 15 will decide the winner here. NC looking to move to 3-1. Fanshawe looking to move to 3-2 on the season.
Yeah, both of these teams are coming off of losses. Fanshawe has lost 2 in a row. Fanshawe losing in Windsor against St. Clair and in Ancaster against Redeemer. Niagara losing 3-0 to Mohawk in Hamilton. So both of these teams are looking to get back into the win column today. Get those 2 points.
So same lineup out there for the 5th set for the Knights. It'll be Newitz, Micah and Ashton Newitz out there with Wisdom Smith, Riley Orr, Mitch Chirpy, Matty Perron at the setter role, and Rowan Redicott holding down the middle for Niagara College.
I'll tell you what, Ashton Newitz has had his fingertips all over this one, especially towards the second half of the game. He's came off the bench with a lot of hustle and heart, making the big plays for the Knights. And you can't ask for enough bench production. We saw it earlier in the women's game. But this one going down to the wire. Odd enough to think the first 4 sets were all kind of near blowouts, around the 7 to 8 point margin of victory. And yet we're going to a 5th set. Although if I had to guess, I think this one will probably go down to the wire.
I guess we will see here as we're moments away from starting set number 5, 2-2. Nothing can decide these teams through 4. We'll go to a 5th and final set to 15 here in Welland, Ontario. Fanshawe going to come out with a different lineup here. It'll be Admins, Patterson, Curtis at the setting role. Klassen stays out there over Slikerman. Ibergen as well as Crowther. And at the libero position is Harnadet. So here we go. Admins with the dump over top. Perron will play it for Smith. He'll try to do the same thing, but it's covered by Klassen. Admins cross court. And how about that? That's such a tough shot. And he's able to paint the line. Fanshawe take the first point.
Back on the court. Zach Admins really struggled in that 4th set. But if he can do anything like what he did the 2nd and 3rd.
Redicott out of the middle, finds the back line. And how good has he been out of the middle the first year? Rowan Redicott has been excellent, the Surrey, BC native.
And that's the scary thing for the rest of the OCAA. This is year 1.
His service good. Curtis will go to Admins. And why not? Because he's just on fire. He's unstoppable right now for the Falcons, and he gets another kill. And we'll go back to serve now. So here comes Admins off the top tape. Orr was able to read it. And a tight set for Ashton Newitz, and he was stuffed there as it was 2 against 1. Crowther and Curtis came together to shut down Ashton Newitz. Admin spinner, Chirpy, high arcing pass, Perron tight at the net. They're gonna call him on the lift. Not much Matty Perron can do in that situation.
Good
He's
start.
gonna take a timeout. Steve Stone wants to talk things over. The Knights can't let this lead slip, as if it gets away, not a lot of time, only up to 15 in the 5th set to come back from. The Knights just need a pass here and a good attack.
Absolutely. Obviously struggling. Zach Adman seems to have his mojo going again, and that's a scary thing for the Knights, because as we saw, he can take over games, and he took over the 2nd and 3rd set.
It was surprising to see him being taken out in the 4th set. He was struggling a little bit on that left side, was Zach Admins, but wow, has he come back with a little bit of vengeance here in the 5th set. He's come out with 2 kills and now a point off the serve, and he'll continue serving here for Fanshawe.
Well, you've got to ride the hot hand, and that's, well, I guess there wasn't really a hot hand for Fanshawe, but they had to switch something up after losing that set. But he's back in the game now, doing his thing, and Fanshawe's looking to get to the elusive 15-point mark.
So Admins will go back to serve for the Falcons, up 4-1 out of the timeout. Zach Admins, Ashton Newitz passing, Perron, Smith, too much behind that one. It went off the block and out of play. And Winston Smith able to tool it, and he'll come out for Matty Tactics, who will come in as defensive duties. So here's Matty Tactics. Serve in and a haze, Matty Tactics. How about that? Just what you want to do in set number 5. You come in cold and he aces a serve. The Knights within 1 now, 4-3, 2 straight points out of the timeout. Tactics again. Admins had to get down for that one. Patterson, a high arcing set. Perron pushes it to Ashton Newitz. Patterson with the recovery, gets back to the outside. He has to tip that one over tight for Perron. He's able to wipe it off the block. But they're gonna call a lift, and NC cannot believe it. Steve Stone questioning that call from the sideline, and Mitch Chirpy trying to get an explanation from the ref. Chirpy trying to explain why they're so upset about the call, and we're gonna have both officials converge here and figure out what they saw. So we'll take a look at the replay and try and get a better sense of what happened on that play. The pass was tight for Perron after that ball was played over by Patterson, and it looked like Perron just pushed it off the block. I'm not really sure what would make the referee call a lift in that scenario. But nonetheless, NC's gonna have to shake it off now, down 5-3, and Crowther goes back to serve.
That's the second questionable call going up against the Knights.
NC needs to refocus after that one. And it starts with a pass here against Crowther in his serve. Newitz comes across, and it was a good serve. Couldn't get down and underneath it, and an ace for Jaden Crowther. Now Fanshawe leads. That one just gets over, and Ashton Newitz tried to get it off the top of the referee and couldn't do so. 7-3 now, Fanshawe. Steve Stone's going to take his second timeout, and unfortunately has to use it this early, but can't let this lead get away from them. So NC will take their final timeout here in set number 5, down 7-3, and Alex, just things not going the Knights' way right now. And it's got to start with their serve receive, because Crowther's now got back-to-back aces.
Yeah, it's been a slow start for Niagara. There's still time, but obviously with the set being only to 15, that really changes how this set is going to be played. Niagara not liking the call from the official on the potential lift, but you have to play through it. Fanshawe probably thinks that they've been on the wrong end of a couple calls earlier in the match. However, this is do or die. Fanshaw's 8 points away from victory, and if Niagara wants to get something going, they're going to need to go on a quick 3-4-0 run now.
So out of the timeout, Jaden Crowther, the server for Fanshawe. His serve finds the net, and Steve Stone's able to ice Crowther. And the Knights side out in a much needed one. Ashton Newitz now back to serve. Ashton Newitz for NC. Admins passes off target. We'll have to throw it over to Klassen. Out of the C ball, finds the back left corner, and that will trigger the halfway point of set number 5. Both teams will switch sides. Fanshawe leading 8-4 at the halfway point of the 5th set. Took a 2-1 set lead after dropping the first. NC was able to force a 5th and final set, and now they're down 4. Gonna need a comeback here late to try and steal one here from the Fanshawe Falcons.
Well, we were talking in the 4th set how Zach Admans was kind of slow-footed, made some mistakes. It's not a coincidence, that once he's gotten going, Fanshawe is doubling up Niagara.
So here comes Jacob Curtis. Perron outside, Chirpy over the block. Curtis will take hands. He'll throw it to Klassen on the right side. Tactics with a dig. Perron pushes it back to Chirpy. Perron will have to throw it over Ashton Newitz. Chirpy, watch there. Patterson was able to keep it alive. He'll get it on the outside. Perron with the block comes together with Riley Orr, and it lands in bounds. And the Knights, a huge block here, will win the first point after the switch around, and Leland Parenzo will now check back in for Riley Orr. He'll come and serve.
Niagara without timeouts. Fanshawe's got 2. Only a 3-point game. However, this final set is up to 15.
So Leland Parenzo was featured in every single set here in this game. He's sub-serving this time. Curtis, great set to the outside. Patterson blocked. Fanshawe recycles, this time to Klassen. Parento with a dig. NC's gonna have to throw it over. Parento does, free ball. Fanshawe tries to use it. Klassen, touch. Newitz gets the dig in. We'll play it over. Fanshawe relocating again. This time out the back. NC a huge point. 2 big digs coming from Parento and Ashton Newitz. And now the lead's cut down to 2. Leland Parenzo for NC, his floater. Passed up off the net, Curtis able to throw it over. Tactics had to play, it was tight on the line. Chirpy off the net! Come on, it's Chirpy! Fires that one down, Advance couldn't get it up. And NC, 3 straight points after the switch, and now it's a 1-point game.
A little bit surprised that Fanshawe hasn't called timeout.
Parenzo, his floater. Fanshawe the other way, and a huge point. Curtis finds Ibergen out of the middle, and he puts it down. Fanshawe gets a much-needed side out, and Parenzo will check back out.
Good job.
Now, pardon me, Alex, Tanner Patterson back serving.
Good job there by Fanshawe to stop the bleeding.
Tanner Patterson was served for the Falcons. Passed up by Mike Anu. It's Chirpy on the outside. It's Chirpy. When called upon, he delivers. Mitch Chirpy with another kill here in set number 5.
I'll tell you what, this crowd is really getting into it, and Niagara's going to have to feed off of it if they want to take down this heavyweight.
Fans trying to boost their team here. It's Matty Perron with the ace. Tie game, 9-9. And Fanshawe's going to take their first timeout. NC is crawled all the way back from 8-4 down. It's now tied at 9. And how about that from NC? They've been boosted by the fans here at the Sibley Financial Athletic Center. And on the back of a couple digs defensively, Leland Parenzo coming in and getting a huge dig in the back row. Mitch Chirpy swinging away, and now an ace from Matty Perron. And all the momentum now with Niagara College.
Yeah, good timeout there by Patrick Johnston. After the switch, a 5-1 run in favor of Niagara. But this crowd is getting into it, and that is going to help out Niagara. Fanshawe looking for their first win on the road as they've dropped their last 2, both being on the road against St. Clair and Redeemer. And the Knights are looking to have a 3-in-1 day on Reunited.
So out of the timeout, Fanshawe still with 1 in hand, NC with none. 9-9 in set number 5. NC won set number 4 to force this 5th set. And now it's Matty Perron with a chance to take their first lead of the game in this set, pardon me. Matty Perron misses the serve, and Fanshawe will take back possession on the side out. So Max Schicknicki will check back in. He'll sub-serve. His serve. Passed up by Ashton. It's Perron. Smith on the outside. Tools it off the block. Quick response from NC. They needed it. We're tied back at 10.
It's funny, we were talking about how the first 4 sets weren't very close. In the final set that matters the most, we're tied at 10.
So here we go. Tied at 10. It's Mitch Chirpy behind the service line. Patterson passing. Curtis gonna go to the middle. Play down. NC point. 4 touches. Never touched the block. Their first lead of the 5th set here. 11-10 now for the Knights. What a turnaround here for Niagara College, and it's on the back of this man right here, Mitch Chirpy. His serve. Patterson deep passes it to Curtis. Blocked at the net. Redikoff got there and makes a huge play. Rowan Redikoff, the first year, shuts down Crowther at the net. Fanshawe takes their second timeout. And how about this? NC now leads by 2, 3 points away from a 5th set win.
It almost looked like Niagara was dead to rights after the two teams switched sides, but it's been all Niagara, an 8-2 run from Niagara to take the lead. Absolute dominance by Niagara College, and in specific, Mitch Chupri, who's the heart and soul of this team. This team goes as far as he goes.
NC leading for the first time in set number 5, 12-10. All the momentum behind them, but they have to hold on here. They can't let it slip because Fanshawe can pounce as quick as anyone.
Both of these teams are without any more timeouts.
So out of the timeout, it'll be Mitch Chirpy serving once again. Who is Fanshawe going to go to if they can get the pass here on the serve receive to get out of this run? Mitch Chirpy, spinner. They won't need it because he'll send it out the back. And Fanshawe now only within one. They got Ty Klassen serving. Ty Klassen came into this game partway through and started set number 5 here for the Falcons. Passed up by Micah Newitz. Ashton Newitz dumps it down, 13-12. 13-11. Knights are leading, and Noah Tremblay is now going to check in sub-serve for Rowan Redicott.
The Newitz to Newitz connection.
Some brotherly love out there as they connect for the 13th NC point in set number 5. 2 away now. Noah Tremblay with a huge serve here. Finds the court. Curtis will go to the outside. Admans is blocked this time. Curtis back to Admans, and he dumps it right down. And if he can't get it the first time, try again, and that's exactly what the Falcons did. And Admans gets the better of NC this time.
Micah Newitz is going to come back into the game looking for some more brotherly love as we're in crunch time.
Admans serving. Newitz passing. Perron. Smith! What a dig by Klassen. Free ball over. Micah Newitz. Perron. Smith again. Klassen answers the bell. Fanshawe can't get it over. Wisdom Smith. Back to back. Huge hits on the right side. The second time is the killer. And NC is 1 point away here. They are on match point. 14-12 here in set number 5.
Yeah, the Knights thought that ball hit the ground.
Smith serve. Just out, and the Knights bench can't believe it. He was looking to paint the line. Fanshawe lives to see another day. Wow, what a 5th set this has been.
I told
if
you
you're watching from home, you're being treated here tonight. It's Jaden Crowther. Chirpy to pass. Perron, Ashton Newitz dumping it across. Crowther got there, joust at the net. And Ashton Newitz will play it up. Chirpy out of the back row. Couldn't settle his shoulders and hits that one out of play. So we'll go to extra points. 14-14. 1-2 now. Jaden Crowther again serving for Fanshawe. His serve off the top tape and an ace. And the Falcons squeak a point there as the Knights caught on their heels, and now they have set point and match point. Jaden Crowther can end it here. Crowther the serve. Chirpy the pass. Ron to the middle. Riley Orr comes up clutch.
Wow. I had a feeling, we were talking about it, how all 4 sets weren't really close, but this one, it's as close as it can get.
Ashton Newitz back serving for NC. What an impact he's had coming into this game off the bench. Admins passes. Curtis pushes his up for Patterson over top of the block. And Smith couldn't keep it on the side of NC. Ron tried to get it. And the Falcons, another chance here with match point. It's going to be Jacob Curtis, the first year, serving for the Falcons. Jacob Curtis, his serve, soft float. Ashton Newitz passes. Perron to the outside, and Chirpy responds. Back and forth they go. And Noah Tremblay is going to check back out. Rowan Redicop will come back into this game. So Riley Orr serving for NC, his spinner into the net. And a tough miss for the Knights. They're going to have to crawl their way back. It's going to be Tanner Patterson for Fanshawe. Patterson serve. Ashton Newitz with a perfect pass to the middle. Redicop over the block. Does just enough. And the Knights keep responding. And now Matty Perron will have a chance here to settle things down for NC. He'll serve.
Somehow, some way, this game seems to get crazier, Noah.
Through the middle, and they respond once again. So Fanshawe will now get the advantage with Ibergen going back to serve. 18-17, match point here for the Falcons. Serve incoming. Ashton Newitz passes off the net. Perron, Chirpy, rolls it over top. Klassen plays, tight to the net. Newitz with a dig. Ashton Newitz from the back row. Perron able to play it up. Newitz with hands. He'll throw it across to Smith. Blocked down. Chirpy comes across, and they shut down Atmans, who has been all over NC all game. And now Mitch Chirpy serving for NC. 18-18. Here comes Mitch Chirpy into the net. And a couple of missed serves here have shot the Knights in the foot. They're going to have to win one back here. Ty Klassen again serving for the Falcons.
If Fanshawe wins this one, the Knights are going to be haunted.
Klassen's floater. Newitz passing. Wisdom Smith stays in off the block, and Fanshawe wins a thriller here in Welland. The Falcons, after losing the first set, win 2 in a row. They dropped the fourth, and after dropping points here to NC in the 5th set, deny the comeback from Niagara College, and will win here in set number 5. But what a game we were treated to, Alex. Down to the wire. Could have been anyone's game. And it really came down to NC shooting themselves in the foot with those service errors.
100%. I mean, besides the service errors, I think there's a tons to like from both teams. And if you're the Knights, you have to hold your head high. You did everything in your power to win this game. Obviously, there's a few service errors, but you have to tip your cap to both teams. It's 2 heavyweights going at it. I wouldn't be surprised to see these 2 teams play again in the postseason. I'm sure everyone is wondering when these two teams play again. The answer to that question is Wednesday, the 27th at 8 p.m. in London. These two teams will have the rematch.
So they'll see each other one more time at the end of the month. We'll take a look at that last play where we saw this game finish off. It was heated here. Everyone holding their breath as Smith was blocked by Crowther, and Fanshawe able to pull out the win in set number 5. That will do it here this evening. The Falcons move to 3-2. NC now even. They're 2-2 on the season. They will play again next weekend. And of course, Fanshawe, they'll see each other once more at the end of this month. NC will take on Sheridan. They'll play Humber on the weekend, so Sheridan midweek on Wednesday. So 2 games this week for the men's team, and what a battle it was. For myself, Noah Vogel, alongside me, my co-analyst, Alex Vandenhack, and everyone here who did such a great job today here at the Reunited event, the broadcast team, and all the people that you don't see or hear on the camera, and their incredible work here today. Long hours put in, and we hope you enjoy this special day here at Niagara College and all the sports that come with it. From the Simply Financial Athletic Center, we will say goodnight. Fanshawe takes down NC in 5.